Welcome back guys to Learning Partner. So in this video, we are going to see how we can create a quiz app in Angular. We won't be using API, but we will store the question into JSON file in asset folder, and then we will display that questions into our quiz app. So just I have created a basic UI. So if we click on the start quiz, we show some rules. And if we continue, so this is kind of a structure we are going to see. Right here we can show the timer also, like for each question we can give 10 second or 15 second. Here we can show the activated number, particular question number, next button to go to the next question, like these things, right? So let me just show you the component. So for now, this is just a plain HTML. So you can see this is the first start button, then this is a second box where we show the rules, then we have the quiz box. Then finally, a result to show the result, right? So we have four different views. I will share the CSS in my GitHub account, and this is the CSS which I have used, right? Now in .ts. Okay, one more thing, like in JSON folder, asset folder, we have created already a question set. So let me just show you that. So you can see this is an array. Inside array, this is an array of object. So question ID, then particular question, like what is the following correct about TypeScript. So we have several options. Options are again object type, array of object, and out of these options, only one will be correct. So each correct is the variable which will denote like it is correct or not. So you can see all of this is correct. So like this, I have stored 5 questions, right? So we need to call this particular JSON file into our folder, into our component using HTTP call, right? So let me just start now. So if you see, I have created certain variable that is show warning. And first is show warning. Let me just, this first variable that is show warning. So if you see this variable I have used in my second pop-up, because so you can see this is the first button, show warning pop-up. So this will call this function. And here what we are doing, we are making this variable true. So if this variable get true, we are showing this class. Means we are adding this class to this particular div, then it will get visible. So let's see this now. So currently you can see start quiz is there. Once I click, that second div is visible, rules div. And again, in this second div, we have one button that is start quiz. You can see here, continue button is there. So on this continue, I have called one function that is start quiz. So let's see what do we have here. So in start quiz, what I'm doing, I'm just first hiding the show warning pop-up, right? Show warning div I'm hiding. Then I'm making the true is quiz started. So this variable I have used over here again with the ng class. If this variable is true, I'm adding this class to this particular div. So if we continue, so you can see this div gets visible. So just using the basic ng class thing, we are just hiding and showing that particular class with the div. Okay, right? So the first basic functionality is done. Like on click of start, we show the warnings, like what are the rules we have. Then on click of continue, we show the question pop-up. So first thing is like, we need to read the questions from that particular JSON file, right? So now our JSON file is in asset folder. If you can see here in asset folder, we have question.json. So we need to read this. So for that, first we need to create the object of HttpClient. So private Http:HttpClient. Then we need to create one function, load questions, right? Here what we will do, this .http.get, and inside get we need to pass, instead of API we will be passing our folder location. So that will be asset / question.json. Then we can subscribe to this. So subscribe result equal to, right? So whatever the questions we get, we need to store it somewhere. So I'm creating one variable, that is question list colon any. It will be of type array any, right? So whatever the response we get, that we will store in this variable res. So let's, okay, it is giving error, so let's just add the data type to this, result colon any, and we have to call this function on the page load. This dot calling this function, right? So let's just first check this thing, like it is reading the data from the JSON file or not. So file save all. Now we need to open the inspect. Let me reload one more time. Yeah. So see, subscribe all is there, and in result we have got all the question from that particular file, and that we are storing in the question list array, right? So we have read the question. Now next thing is, right, let me just continue. We have to, at a time, one question will be activated, right? So we need to read the question, whatever. First we need one variable, that is activated question number. So out of that array, we need to show the particular question number question over here and the option over bottom, right? So UI is already there. So now we just need to make it dynamic. So we just need one variable, that is current question number colon number. By default, let's say 0 or 1, because in question ID we can say we have started from 1, so we are making at 1. So current question number we have 1, and this question number we will be showing. So wherever, if you see over here, we have got this question number, and here also 3 out of 6. Out of 6 means total question. So let's see, where is 3? So this is nothing but my question number, right? Then again 3 out of 3. So here it will be again question number. Then we out of 6, right? So we need to show total number of questions. So that will be question list dot length. Let's see, question list dot length. So let's save and check if we get the proper one and everything. Continue, start, continue. So here you can say you get 1. Okay, we missed the dot length. Let us save again. Start quiz, continue. So you can see here also we have got, and here also you can see 1 out of 5. Now we need to write the functionality to click on next, right? If we click on next, what we have to do, we just have to increment this number. So let's write an event here, click function, next question. This will be function, we will be creating this. So after this dot next question, sorry, current question number plus plus, right? So let's save and check now. Currently we are not displaying any question yet, we are just performing with the number. So by default the current question number is 1. So now if I click on next, you can see here also it is getting 2, here also it is getting 2, right? So up to what number we have to do? See, we had the 5 question, but we don't have any condition to stop that, right? So we have to increment this until up to length only, right? So here we can just add an if statement, because this is not correct, right? We have total 5 question and we can increment up to 8, right? So if this dot question less than equal to this dot question list dot length. If it is less than or equal to, then only we will allow it to increment. So let's check it now. Start quiz, continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we don't need this equal to. Let's check it again just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see it is not getting after that, because we have the total question number of 5. So with this simply if statement, we have achieved that. Next, whatever the question number we have here, that question we should display over here. So that is very simple again. So we have the question list into question list variable, right? This we have to use. Now this is a question, right? So here question list square bracket, and then we can pass our current question number. Out of that, we will get this whole object. Out of that, what we need to display? Question over here. So dot question. So we can get rid of this static thing. Let's save and check now. So you can see first question is which of the following is correct about TypeScript, then what does AOT stands for, and which of the following is not hook up for the application lifecycle. So let's see. Continue. Now first question is, you can see what does AOT stand for. Next, which of the following is not a hook application. Third, decorator. Fourth, router. Something is wrong. Let's check. Okay, now array will normally start from the 0, right? So that's why it has started from second question, that is from here. So we can just initialize this with 0, and here we can make it +1. Here also, and here also. So let's see if it works correctly or not. Start quiz. Continue. First question, right? So if we now next question, second question, third question, fourth question, fifth question. Yeah. Okay, why it is going? Let's see the error. Why it is breaking? Let me check. What it is saying, cannot read properties of undefined reading questions. So current question number is 5 only. And inside the array, let's check to how much we have got. Just because that 0 and 1 combination, it might be wrong. So here we have initialized with 0. Then up to 0 to 4, it will go, right? So that's why once we at the last option, it is giving us the error. So for that, what we can do is, okay, so simply check was, we can just reduce the question length in this next question with -1. So if you see now, let me just reload, start quiz, continue, first question, second question, third question, fourth question, and fifth question. So now it is not going ahead. So we don't have that error. But on the page load again, we are getting that error. See, cannot read properties of undefined, because in the ng on init, we are getting that questions. So somehow it will take some time, right? So before that, this code is trying to read, but we don't have anything in the question list, right? Initially. So that's why it is giving us the error. So let's just create one more variable is, or we can just use our quiz started variable over here on this section. So star ngIf, because once this variable is true, then only this is needed. So let's save. Now on the page load, we should not get any error. Yes, right? So this is first question, second, third, fourth, fifth. Now we need to show the options of that particular questions also. So again, this is the same thing. So we need to add a for loop now on the option div. So let me just remove the basic things. Now, if you see, this is kind of, once we click, it should look like this, right? So for now, I have to add a for loop. We don't need this. Let's save and check if it is looking fine. Yes. Right. So first we need to use the for loop on this particular div. So star ngFor equal to double quotes, let option of, and the array will be from question list, question, and this particular options. Inside this, we are getting the options. So we just need this, remove this, right? So now in option, we get the all the options of that particular question that we can print it over here. Option dot, option is again an object of array, right? So this is answer. So let's put it over here. Let me remove the remaining one. Let's save and check. Now, whatever the question we have now, we should be able to see particular options. See which of the following is the correct about TypeScript. So you can see the options of that question. Click on next. You can see the question and its option. Click on next. See, it is working fine. Right. So first, almost part is done. Like we have read the data from the asset folder from particular question.json. We have shown the question. On click of next, particular question is getting changed, and we are showing the options also. So the major part is done. Now, next part is this timer, right? So what do we do with the timer? So for every question, now this question is there, right? So for every question, we will be assigning 10 seconds to answer. If he answers within 10 seconds and click on next, then again we will reset the timer. But once 10 seconds is done, it will automatically go to the next question. So this is how we can do using Rxjs timer. So for that, in .ts, we will create a timer. So let's say in constructor, I will create the timer, constant timer is equal to interval, and interval will be of 10 seconds. So that is 10,000, right? Now I need to subscribe to this. So timer dot subscribe. Let's see what do we get here. Console dot log res. Let's try to print like what do we get and after how many times we get it. So on the page load only we are doing it, but we have to start the timer once we start the actual quiz, right? So let's see, after 10 seconds, we should get, 0. Now we need to we need to show that anti-clockwise, right? Means it will start from 10, 9 to 1 like that. So for that, the timer should be 1000, right? So we will create one more variable, that is question, let's say remaining time, and it will start, it will be number only, it will start from 10, right? And every time whenever time interval hit, we need to reduce it. So this dot timer minus minus up to how many, we need to add the condition also, like until it is not 0. If not equal to 0, then only we will reduce it, because if it is 0, we don't need to reduce it. So let's save and check, and this we will print it in the timer where. So time off. Here we will print our time. So let's save and check now. Start quiz, continue. So you can see timer is there. But this we have to start on the next question, right? So we can just copy paste this and put it once we start the quiz. So this is a function where we actually start the quiz. So we can put it over here. Let's save and check now. Start quiz, continue. 10, 9, 8, like that. So this is nothing but timer from the Rxjs, right? So once it is 0 now, we have to change the question. So for that, how do we change the question? Using this function. So we have to call this over here, this dot next question. Means this check is like for if it is not equal to 0. We need again one else statement. Here we have to add the statement like if this dot timer remaining time is equal to 0. And in this function, we have to call next question. So many things will be there, but we need all these things to achieve the quiz. Start quiz, continue. So after once it is 0, the question, next question should be visible by default. See, next question. Okay, something is wrong. Let's check what is wrong. Okay, because the timer is 0, every time it is going and it is going to next. So once the timer is 0, right? Again, we need to initialize it with 10 for the next question. So is equal to 10. So let's check now. Because once timer is 0, next question start. Again, we have to start the remaining time from 10, right? Continue, continue. So timer start with 10, 9, 8. Let's wait for 0. Yes. So see, for second question, again, timer started from 0 because of this line. Once 0, again, third question will be visible. So we are going step by step. While writing, you also go step by step. Don't just try to copy paste the code, whatever I write. Just write some code, test it, again, write the remaining code. Just go by step. Fourth question. Fifth question. Right. After now, you can see one more defect is there. One more bug is there. After fifth question, we should not show this timer, right? So we need to clear this, what we can say, timer. So, or we can unsubscribe. So current, again, here, we can add a condition like inside this, if, so many conditions will be there. If, what we need to do, if current question, this dot current question is equal to this dot question list dot length. So what we need to do, we can just unsubscribe to this. So timer dot unsubscribe. Timer or clear interval, I don't know. Let me check. One way solution will be, instead of creating this in the particular variable, means local variable, we can create this as a global so that we can use anywhere. So let's create it as, instead of this local variable, we will just create a global variable. Let's say timer is equal to what we need, just the interval. So let me just copy this, paste it over here. So we will have our timer in a global level. So instead of this local variable now, we can just access using this dot timer, right? So let's just test and see if it is working like it should. Start quiz, continue. So timer will start from 10. Yes, question is getting changed again, timer is getting started. So it is working fine. So we need to just unsubscribe this. So now, whenever we are changing the question, we are calling this function next question, right? So this we can call right here. One more if condition we can add, if, or we can get an else to this. In else only, right? This question is like, if it is question length is less than 0, if it is greater, so we need to write we need to just clear the timer. So timer dot unsubscribe. Why unsubscribe is not coming? We cannot unsubscribe like that. So let's create a subscription array. So subscription colon subscription, just subscription equal to empty, right? So when we are subscribing now, so we can push it. So here we are trying to subscribe, right? So here we can push that into that subscription dot push, right? So we can just push this thing, right? So whatever we have subscribed, we have pushed that into the subscription. Now we just need to unsubscribe it. So this we can use over here in this if statement if there is no any next question. So we can write for each loop this dot subscription element dot unsubscribe. So it will stop after that particular time. So let's click on save and let's check it now. So just pay attention to the console. We are just printing that console.log after every interval with this, right? So we just need to check that. Continue. So it has started. It will take some time. Let me just open this in the side window. Yes. So you can see second question started after 10. Third question, again, timer start with the 10. Next question. Let me just clear it out. You can see the console is getting incremented, right? So this is the last question. Once this 10-second completed, then we won't be seeing this console because we have unsubscribed to that. Yes, so see, it has stopped here. So we have stopped that, right? So first part is done. Now, next thing is like, we need to allow user to select also, right? This option should be selected. So for that, these are the options we have, right? Currently disabled class is there. So we need to remove that. Correct also we need to remove. These are the classes. We just denote like the option is selected or not. So let's just see how does it look now. Start, continue. So you can see it is not selectable. So if I click on it, we need to make that option as a selected, like I have selected that question option from that question, right? So for that, what we can do, we can just write an click call. So click equal to double quotes, select option, opening, closing, and we will be sending this option. So let's create this. Now, while calling this function, we are sending option, right? Whatever the option we have, and plus question also. Or else what we can do, we can just add one more property to the option, like it is selected or not, right? So for that, this is option. Again, we can provide the data type as any. So option dot is selected, we can pass and true. So simply we are just adding one more property to that option or option object, right? So this thing we can use it to make it selected. So square bracket ng class equal to, if option dot is selected is equal to true, then question mark this class, otherwise this class. So here selected class will be there. Let me see the class again. Now here we need to add three classes, right? First, this option class will be there. Then if we select the answer, then this correct class will be there. If we correct class will be there if the selected option is correct. And if selected option is incorrect, then we have to add the incorrect class. So for that, multiple classes will be there. So instead of this, what we have to do, curly bracket, question, let's say single quote, question mark, colon, then our condition. So if option dot, what was the property is selected. If this is selected property is not present, means by default it is not present. Sorry, condition will go over here. So option dot is selected equal to undefined. Right. So what we will be doing, we will add this class, that is option. So we don't need it over here. So let's just check up till this. We should have for all the option, we should see this class applied. Continue, start, continue. So you can see by default that option class is added. Now second thing, comma. Our second condition will be if option selected not equal to undefined. And option dot is correct is true. Then what we have to do? We have to add correct class, that is this class. Third class, just take it down. Third class will be incorrect. Now condition for this is again same thing, just it will be false if it is not, if it is selected, but if option is incorrect, means false condition. This class will be added if option is selected and option is correct, and this class will be added if option is selected and if the option is incorrect. So let's save and check. If hope it works fine. Continue, start, continue. So let's say, okay, something is not right. No, something is not right. Let me check. So my bad, like we don't need that first option class. So we just need two classes. First, correct. If option is selected and option is correct, then we will add this class. If option is selected and if option is incorrect, then we will add incorrect class. So let's save and check now. Continue, start quiz, continue. So let's say for this first question, this answer I have selected, but this is a wrong, right? Let's click on next. This. So see, this was the correct answer. Then which of the following is not a hook? So ngView start, right? I think that is not the correct. So now the issue is we can select all the question, but at least one, we can select only one option, right? So we have to add a condition for that. So once we select this option now, here, what we need to do, first we are sending option also. So what we need to send, question also we need to send. So question means, so now next thing is we need to disable all the option. If we select either of the, any of the option is selected, then we need to disable it. So for that, we have one disabled class. Now we need to add this disabled class. Let's see the condition, what we have to think. So now this disabled class, we have to add if from all these options, either one of the option is selected, right? So for that, we need to create a function. So let's create a function is option selected, opening, closing, and here we will be sending options more than any. right? So we have to call this function over here, and we will be passing our all the options. So option nothing means these things. So I will pass it over here and comma. So now what we are doing, we are sending all the option to this function. So what logic we have to write? Here we can write constant is selected is equal to, we just have to simply filter it out. Option dot filter. So when we are selecting option, we are adding this property as true. So we can just add a check for that. Is selected is equal to true. Let me just add a data type to this. Right? So if we have the length, so if it's selected, it will be dot length. So we are just filtering out, so we will get the length. So let's make it selection count. Selection count equal to 0 means no option is selected, so we will return true. Otherwise, we will return false. So see, now what this function is doing, we are sending all the options of the particular questions. What we are writing here, we are checking if either of the question is that flag is true or not. So if we don't have any option which is having it selected as true, we will get it at 0. So if it is 0, we are returning true. So here, if this question return true, right? So this class will be added, but we need the vice versa. If either of the question is true, then we need to, so we will return false from here, and here we will return false. Means if no question is selected, we are returning false. If any one of question is selected, then we are returning true. So if this is true, then this class will be added. So let's check it now. Continue, start, continue. So let's say I select all of the above. So this is correct. Now, if you see, I cannot select the remaining thing. So we have this because that function has written true, right? So if I select this is a wrong question, but remaining option I cannot select because I have selected the option already. Now on changes, which of the, I think I have made it correct. This is not a lifecycle event, but in the question array, I have made it that true or false, something else is there. So let's check the third question. Which of the following is not a lifecycle loop? Yeah, correct only. No? So this is not a lifecycle hook. So correct only. Then this is coming from Angular router like this. So first means all the part is done. Now we just have to show the result. So we can create one more variable. Let's just create one more variable. So many variables we are going to need. Correct answer count. Number or is equal to, let's initialize it with 0. Now, once if this is the last question, if this 5 is equal to 5, instead of next question, we have to show like finish, right? So for that, let's just write the condition. So now, if this current question, let me just copy paste. So here we will need condition star ngIf equal to. So if this current question plus 1 equal to this means we have reached to the end of the question. So we will show finish button, finish, and it will be finish. And if it is not, means opposite of this. So if it is not equal to 1, then we will show the next question button. So let's just create this finish function. And once this finish function is available, what we need to do? So we need one more class, result box. So this class we have to add to this particular last div. So again, ng class. So now one more variable we are going to need to show the last box, that is, or we can use this same variable, is quiz started, right? So we can make it false again. Or let's create one more variable that will be more beneficial, is quiz ended colon boolean is equal to boolean is equal to, by default, make it false. And this variable we will be using over this. If this variable get true, then we will be adding we have to add this active result class to the last div, right? And if it is and is quit ended, we will do on click of finish. So here this dot is equal to true, and again we need to what we can say, hide that question div also, right? So that question div is response is coming once we start the test. So it's we started, we have to make this also false. So let's check. Start quiz, continue, this, 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 finish. You can see we are getting this. So now here we just have to show the count, like what total number of correct answer or something, right? So for that, what we have decided, like once we answer, that is option select, right? So we are adding in all question, in all option, we are making that is selected flag as true. So correct answer, this variable we had created, right? So this we can just increment, like here, if option dot is correct. So this we if it's correct is true, then we will just increment it. If it's correct is true, then we will just increment that correct answer count plus plus. So we will get to know, like if the option selected is correct one, we are just incrementing this. And if it asks answer is not correct, then we are not doing anything, right? So now this we have to show in the last div. You have completed the quiz. Let's just show the text, like we just need to show that question count, correct question count over here. Out of how many questions? So that is question list dot length. So let's save and check now. Continue, start quiz, continue. So let's say this is first option I have selected. Next question, I'm selecting incorrect answer. Next, ngView start correct answer, then ng model, next, an Angular router, finish. So you can see I have only one option I have selected which was not correct. So you can see you have got 4 out of 5, right? So then again on Qt quiz, you can just come back to the first pop-up. So on here, click start. So here, what we will do, we will just again go back to the first page. So first page will be visible if this quiz warning is true. Means start button. So we need to make all this false. So warning also false. And then let me just minimize. Yeah, so all these three variables will be false now. So save and check. So by default, this start quiz should come. Continue. Continue. Finish. Right? Quiz. So you can see we have come to the start of the application. So this is how we have completed quiz application. I know some things we have, because I don't pre-record the session. I do it in the go only. So some things might be coming, what we can say, scenarios might have changed, but the code is almost the same, right? So things which we have used is like Rxjs timer, subscription, because we had to unsubscribe once once we reach to the last question, then this option selected thing, like if it is correct or not, this we have done. Start quiz thing, this is a timer thing, right? So I will share this in my GitHub account. So with the video, you can just refer the code also and create your own quiz application also. Till then, thank you. Please do like and subscribe.